Welcome to Love Life After, where we embark on the beautiful journey of love, life, and resilience. I am Christelle, your host and friend on this exploration. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you're a cherished member of our family, thank you for being here. On this podcast, we'll share personal tales of triumph, heartache, and the incredible transformation that unfold after every challenge. So grab your favorite glass of wine, cup of tea, or coffee and find a cozy spot and let's dive into this magic of love, life, and everything that happens after the obstacle. And remember, your story is our inspiration, and together we'll navigate this journey ahead.
Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, a black queen.
Joining me today is
Hi everyone, I'm Joey.
yes, I'm excited. But Joey, what are we calling you? Are we calling you Joey? Are we calling you Zaza? Are we calling you? What are we calling you?
I guess on here you could just call me Jody because it's
Jody,
like now
okay.
you're really just I can't sit up here and put on the persona that I put on when I sing or when I write my music. Like this is, boy from Baltimore.
Right. Y'all have to listen to Joey. I'm gonna let him, tell y'all how y'all can find him on his YouTube and listen to his singing, which I told him, by the way, that he needs to do more of it. You know what? Next time you come on here, I'm gonna let you sing a little bit something for them.
Sure, I don't mind. I'm actually working on my final project. When I say final project, I mean like because sometimes putting albums together is really hard. It's very tasking. So after this, I'll probably just put out certain singles and stuff because it's easy. You do a song, put it out there, people listen to it. But when you put a project together, you got to sit there and have the cover art, the order of the music, the distribution. It's a lot that goes into it.
That's true. I believe it. So I told Joey's gonna come back. He's gonna be a co-host for a few episodes, right, Joey?
Yes.
So when he come back, so there are a lot of things that we want to talk about with you because we've just been, you know, getting messages about we should hear this from men perspective. We should hear this from men perspective. So we found some things, we found some of those messages and we want to kind of like talk to you about it just to see, but we will have other men on too as the season go. Um so the three things that people were asking, one of the things, so someone sent us a message on social media about men, right? So it says, I'm just gonna give this to you so you can think about it for the next, but I can't wait because it's like I can't wait to hear what you gotta say. It said, what three qualities would you like to see in your daughter in order for you to feel secure about the relationship you're in now? You got the hold on to that. Isn't that crazy? Like when I heard that, I was like, what? So the question was for men. It said, what, I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna send it to you so you could like marinate on it so we could talk about it next time, okay? It said, what three qualities would you like to see in your daughter's partner, right? In order for you to feel secure about that relationship. Isn't that deep?
It is very deep. It's very deep.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna hold on to that. So if y'all want to hear more about that, what he had to say, I want y'all to come back next time so y'all can hear what he has to say, okay? But with that being said, I want Joey to kind of share a little bit about his life, just, something that's going on just in general, real quick. And then we're going to wrap today up. And then we'll come back and talk to y'all more about, everything that's going on. Are you still thinking about starting your podcast? If your answer is yes, Look no further. Get a host that you would like to distribute your podcast through. I use Buzzsprout. If you're listening to this episode right now, click the link in the description and it will send you to the site. Then you'll need to get equipment, a software to record, and you can use Audacity, or if you have a MacBook, you can use GarageBand. I use both. Once you record, just upload it on Buzzsprout to distribute through all your favorite platforms. That's it. BUZZSPROUT.com. Happy podcasting.
Right now, I'm dealing with a real tough situation. My mother, she is, she battles with alcoholism. And it's very tasking because when she does drink, it gets to the point where I don't even recognize my mother. Some of the things that she says is very, it just makes me forget that I'm even speaking to my mother. What was it? The last thing that she recently said to me was, I should have aborted your ass. And I just kind of just took it with a grain of salt because it's like I've had worse things said about me. And it's just more so like I just look at her as, another person. And I just took it. I just took it. But then my mother also has an issue that she hasn't even diagnosed yet. But we're starting to see signs. So she may have Alzheimer's, early Alzheimer's or dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if this is really her talking or if it's this, but then I go back to the past of when I was growing up because my mother had put me out the house when I was 16. And there's been a lot of times that I had to sleep inside of my car, sleep on somebody's couch, to the point where I literally, when I went back, I think I went back in my 20s, and then things didn't change. And I looked at my mother and I told her, this is the last time I'm coming back. Mm-hmm. And I kept that promise because the next time that she seen me, I had a whole family.
Wow.
And my mom was she was a good woman. She worked hard. She loved music just like how I did. We were very much alike. But the relationship just kind of changed over the years because I guess because boundaries, I'm basically not putting up with a lot of things that she would say and do. Mm-hmm. Consistent fighting, arguing, and just the nasty things that's being said. So with that being and I still want to have a relationship with my dad, but he's still, he's still he loves my mom, but I can't. And I refuse to. And I refuse to have my daughter around it too because now she's getting older and she's starting to say certain things about my mom. Like, I don't like when Nanny grabs me, or I don't like when Nanny has a stinky breath and stuff like that. And it just makes me go back and think about the things that could transpire if I continuously keep letting my daughter go over there. Basically, I sit up here and have my trauma be my daughter's trauma. I love my mother to death, but I just refuse to do it. And my father, I will say that he's somewhat of an enabler, but then he's starting to get worn down. And then I have an older sister, and she's just MIA. And then when she does come around, it doesn't help the situation either. I'm literally the one that's putting my foot down. But then it comes at, it comes with consequences. So I gotta eat a lot of shit.
Joey, that's deep.
It can get even deeper because if we sit here and we start branching out into aunts and uncles, I don't have a relationship with any of my aunts and my uncles. I was always labeled as a black sheep. So when family events would happen, I will always be isolated. I would never be invited. And that's where the acceptance always comes in at, because I was never accepted when it came to my family. So my family has definitely been a big, huge part of my trauma.
Have you ever like talked to your mom and explained to her how she has hurt you and is hurting your daughter now by the stuff that she does?
We've had consistent conversations, and the last time, I told my mom, I was like, when she comes over, can you not drink? Just, because she's only going to be over here for 2 days or maybe a day, and hold out to call us. And it was fine at first, and then my mother, she just couldn't help herself.
Right.
And she had one of her drinking episodes, and she called me, and basically she was saying, what do you think that we're doing with her? And that. I said, I don't think that you're doing anything, but I just don't want her to be around it. I don't want her to see it. She shouldn't have to know about that. She's young.
Right.
My mother had said she gotten to the point where she made certain accusations about me in regards to my daughter, and I'm like, do you hear the things that you're saying right now?
Right.
And that's why I said, when it comes down to my mother, she has said everything to me from the bottom to the top. So I've literally heard it all. Like, and sometimes I have to tell her, I say, people in the street don't even talk to me like this, the way you talk to me.
Right.
It just seems like it just never registers sometimes, and I don't think it ever will.
Yeah. I feel like until she's healed, you're working on your healing. But I feel like because she's still with your dad, right? And he's seen it, so he know the deal. He know what's going on. Has he ever tried to, maybe have some type of intervention with you and your sibling, and see if that can maybe help anything?
It doesn't help. Okay. It's like literally talking to a brick wall. Okay. Or it's to the point of, if she's backed into a corner, two things will happen. She'll either attack, and she'll attack by, bringing up the past, throwing your demons up in your face, or it'll be victim. So it's either or. So at the end of the day, it just never works out.
Okay. Whew. I'm speechless, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, wow, trauma do exist, right? Trauma exists, and we all go through trauma, and everybody handle their trauma differently, and that explains a lot to, from our conversation or previous conversation, as to why you're very guarded, right? And why you treat, your family, how protective you are over them, because of the things that you've experienced in your childhood. And that's why, remember I was saying, like, I wanted you to heal, like, talking to you, and you was like talking about, maybe not forgiving somebody before, but you've done, it looks like you're on the right track right now, because you're doing that. And it's because of the things that happened, the things that you've experienced, the trauma that you've experienced in your childhood, and you brought that into your relationship, right? But you've learned now that you can't do that anymore, because you don't want your child to see the same thing that you've experienced as a child. I just wish, like, because the stuff that we go through, right? Sometimes it stays with us forever, right? Until we actually deal with it, right? We got to deal with those things so we can move on and have a better life for ourselves. But I don't want to speak for your mother or your family, right? But until your mother get in a space where she's like, I don't want to feel like this anymore, or I don't want my grandchild to feel like this anymore, or I don't want them to not want me to be around my grandchild unless something happened. This is wow, I didn't know. I didn't know we talked, but you've never really talked to me about that. So I'm trying to take it all in like, wow, this explains a lot. And I
it,
pray to God that it changed her, that she changed her ways for y'all because of y'all. But from what you're saying, you don't think that's going to happen at all. So, but that's why I think for you, what you need to do for yourself and for your family is to find, healing in everything that happened. Try to deal with that trauma. And it seems like you're doing a lot of stuff now to help you with the process. But how do you feel about therapy?
It is one. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar, like when my dad went to therapy and how it basically kind of acted with Dr. Phil. That's literally how it would be with my mother. Like, it just would not go well. Like,
yeah.
It would be very aggravating, and it would just be pointless.
Yeah.
Like, my mother has to get to a point where she's like, I'm tired of feeling like this, and I have to do this on my own. Because just like how I'm telling you my story, my mom also has a story.
Right.
When my mother was pregnant with me, she, her brother, I think it was my mother had 7 siblings. Her brother, they were real tight. My uncle was addicted to drugs. And my mother was in the kitchen, and she heard my uncle's girlfriend scream. Didn't know what it was. My uncle had overdosed, and my mother did not know. She didn't know. And so she just went along with her day regular. And while the whole entire time, my uncle was downstairs, basically rotting away.
That's trauma.
That's trauma.
She has her own trauma.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was a very violent man. He had a shotgun. He would literally shoot at his children.
Do people in your family, do they know all of this stuff?
Yes, we all know this as a collective. We know that we have issues. We know that alcohol and drugs plays a big part in our family. We know that violence is the foundation that this family was built off of. And nobody did anything about it, but we just stay separated because that's the only way that, it could literally just stop.
Right.
So I'll talk to one of my cousins, but the rest of my cousins I don't keep in contact with. That's just the way how the family is, because it seems like it's safer this way.
Right. Whew. Wow. It's a lot. I'm just proud of you that you chose to have a better life for yourself. So I just want to say that I'm very, very proud of you. But you know what? You heard what they say, hurt people hurt people. Because she's hurt. She has her own trauma. She hasn't dealt with it. She hasn't healed. So she's going to keep hurting the people she loves, not really knowing that she's doing that. That's going to keep happening until she heals on her own.
Yeah, exactly.
And all y'all could do is, at some point, like, I know y'all probably already tired of it, just telling her, hey, we love you. We want you to get help.
I'm afraid it'll be.
I'm going to be praying
I feel like when it comes to my mom, it will only end when, when she's finally going to go to a permanent rest. And then it'll be too late, because it seems like, we always watch a movie where the person only gets it at the end. And I would hate for it to be that way, but it just may be that way. And I try not to basically, imitate all the things that I had seen, but I was that. You could tell that I was part of that family, but what kind of stopped it was my wife. I wanted to be wife so bad that I was willing to make the changes, the necessary changes to with her.
Right.
And it just, because even she sees it, because even sometimes she'll get to the point where she just be like, she can't believe it herself that a lot of these things are happening.
Mm-hmm. And did you bring some of that back? I don't want to call it baggage, but did you bring some of that in your relationship, in the beginning of your relationship? Was it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
When my wife met me, hothead.
Mm-hmm.
I was a hothead.
Yeah.
And just like how she also has her trauma too. So we're battling our traumas in this relationship in the beginning. And to the point where we even got to the point where it was just like, all right, this ain't working. Maybe we need to go our separate ways, but we did not. That's not what we wanted. We wanted to be with each other.
Right. Right.
Like, the loving was good.
Right.
Like, we loved each other so much. Like, it was just that good that we felt like I deserve you and you deserve me. Right. And we deserve to be together.
And that's so I would say, do you think you feel like your wife saved you from?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because one thing that she said to me, she said, I have a vision of this man, of you being this man, and it's going to be so sexy and so attractive. And when she said that, I have never seen myself in that light. And I said, well, shit, what the fuck you said?
Right.
So I started doing the things that she wanted me to do. And also with a reason, because I had some resistance, but we also met in the middle. It was also a lot of compromise.
Okay.
And so that helped. I've honestly, I never been out the country until I met my wife. I never did a lot of the things that I have done until I met my wife. So it was just basically God knew what I needed.
Right.
And he gave me my wife, and I've just been growing and been happy ever since.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, you never know what like people are going through or what the stuff they went through, which keeps them from experiencing life the way they should, right? So, but when you find somebody that brings out or show you different than what you know, it's life changing, and you have to hold on to that, and you got to treat that person right. Because I guess now it literally made you want to treat her, better and loving and caring, because she brought you a whole new experience.
Yeah. And then she gave me my baby, and it's just, I'm just thankful that I'm here and I made those changes, because I can't even imagine where I would be if I didn't have my wife.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
But I wouldn't have y'all. I wouldn't have you. I'm just so blessed right now.
Well, we're blessed to have you. We love you. We all love you. So we're blessed to have y'all in our lives. It's amazing. Like, that's another journey, because I've known your wife for a while before, when they got married, but we never really actually been, around each other a lot more until y'all came down. Now we're like one big happy family, and I love it. I'm just happy that y'all are a part of our family, our life, and I wouldn't trade that for a word, for anything.
I love y'all. Like, it's good to be accepted for who I am authentically.
Yeah. And you are, like, people, around the holiday, you've met some people around there. Everybody loved. They was like, Joey, where's Joey? How's Joey? So everybody loves you. We love your energy. We love what you bring. Around people. It's just you're just a chill, cool. But I can't wait for the girls to meet you and talk to you because they have a lot to ask because they've been. I don't know why men are scared to come on here, right? They're scared to come on the pod. We had like at least 5 last season that were supposed to come on and talk about healing. Like you see how authentic it was just for you to like share your story. Like we don't bite. We make it comfortable for you. If you after you say this, you may feel better. And if you decide, hey, don't post this, we won't post it after you think about it. You're like, oh my God, that's too much. We won't do it, but we just want you to come, be yourself, be vulnerable because everybody's going through something, and they just want that one person to help them. They want to listen, they want to hear from somebody else. They could be ashamed because things happen to them. Like with my sexual assault thing that I was ashamed. Like I'm like, damn, did this really happen to me? And I was hiding from it. I'm like, no, trying to hide from all the stuff that happened to me. But once I went to therapy and I actually work on it, and I'm like, okay, this is not my fault. So once I got into that space where I believe that what happened was not my fault, that's when I started my healing process because that was killing me without me even knowing that it was killing me. So I feel like it's very important for people to share their story because it's not only going to help them, but it'll help other people too as well.
I agree.
Yeah. So have you been to therapy yourself?
Multiple times.
Okay. Oh, I love that. So how do you feel? What is your take on therapy? What do you think about therapy?
Well, I will say it's just like with everything else in life. You have to try different therapists. You have to see what's fitting for you because you can't just pick one therapist and think that this is the end all be all. No.
That's what I always say.
So you agree? Like
yeah, I've been through like in 8 therapy in 7 years. I've been through 8 of them. I've seen 8 people. But I love that though. I just love like going through them and see, every year I will change just to try to like get different perspective. Because some you may like, some you may not. Some may work for you, some may not work for you. So it's good to like try different people and see what works best for your mental health. Because some therapists will drain, even though they're there to help you, they may not understand you.
Right.
So it's okay to like try. I like that you did say that, but you have been to therapy and you tried different ones.
Yes, and I have went to therapy, and it was a time where I had cried every day for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, that's good.
And
that's good. I love this. Like hearing from a man saying I've cried. Like people don't. I just love how vulnerable you are right now because people think going to therapy is a scary thing. It brings out your vulnerability. It brings out your true self, right? And people are scared of that. They're scared to meet themselves, their real self. But I love how you say you've cried for weeks. What happened after that?
I could not put my finger on it. Why? I would just, it would just happen. It would just at a snap. And one day I was just sitting at the table and my wife had came in and I just had my hands on my face and I was just red.
You was red?
And I was just crying. And she was just, I was red because I was just crying just that much. And she didn't know what to do except for just console me. So that's when I just got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to talk to the therapist. Now, when I talked to the therapist, I looked at her. She said, how are you doing today? And I just started crying. Yeah. And, she had told me, it could be something going on. Basically, maybe you need to probably go to the doctor. Maybe you need some, some antidepressants or something like that. Or you probably just need a break.
Right.
You probably just need to take a week off from work. You probably just need to sit with yourself, because at this point I was not doing self-care.
Yeah.
And once I had talked to my therapist, and she had said that, I just sat with it. I did go to the doctor. I had got my physical. He told me everything was good. But he recommended that I kind of focus a little bit more on my exercise. So when I did start working out and I started actually lifting weights, eating the proper foods, like eating enough carbs and everything, I started feeling better. I started feeling lighter.
Yeah.
It wasn't things on my mind anymore, and just letting certain things just go. So it was definitely a process with the therapy, and then actually putting everything into gear. It definitely helped me. Therapy is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I love that. Coming from a man, y'all, like he said, therapy is a wonderful thing. My husband actually went through therapy too. We went together and he done it too. And he said, he recommended for men to go to therapy. And I love that. And I wish most men will feel the same. And I think, a lot, talking to some of my clients, I think a lot of them have been going to therapy. They just don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it, which is, I just love it. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm glad you shared that. Joey. So I know that was a lot, and what we're gonna do, I'm probably gonna listen to all this and go back and have so many questions for you next episode.
Okay.
I just hope, you're okay with us sharing you to the world. And just, I love how vulnerable you are with me. Was this scary?
Not at all. It just seems like the conversations that we normally have.
Yeah, I love it. See, this is amazing. But yeah, tell people where they can find you first.
You can find me at Jody, Jody Zasa. That's Zaza.
Okay, Jody Zasa. Is that on YouTube too, and Instagram?
You can literally type it in on YouTube, Instagram. It's just gonna pop up. It will literally pop up. I even tried to Google myself, and I was like, "Look at me."
Yeah, I saw the I saw a few, like even the one you did a song recently, and I was like, okay, look at Joey listening. Because remember we told you need to do more covers and more singing your song more, and I want to see a lot more of that. I think you should definitely do that because your voice is amazing. I think people need to hear it.
Thank you so much. I will be doing more covers. But that one that was a special one. That was for Mary J. Blige.
I know. I was like, okay. I love it. You know what else you gotta do? You have to do a Fantasia cover.
Oh Lord.
I would love to hear.
You said you want me to start screaming?
Yes. I love it. I would love to hear one with Fantasia.
I'll keep you up. I definitely will when I do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for being so real and authentic and sharing your story. And I know just people listening can, take something from what you say and just know that it's okay to share their story. It's okay to be vulnerable and just know that you are not alone, that there are other people out there that's going through the same thing, and just sharing a little part of yourself can help a lot of people. With that being said, if y'all have any question at all, any question for Jody, just please hit him up. His information will be in the description. So you could make sure you contact him, and I'm sure he will answer whatever questions you have for him. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you join us next time as we embark on this journey of self-discovery, healing, and building connection. Together we'll explore the depth of love, the complexity of life, and the limitless possibility that await us on the other side of adversity. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, please email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com or hit us up on our Instagram at love.lifeafter. We would love to hear from you and hope you let your story become our inspiration. Peace. See you next time.